Good morning, kids. Today is Wednesday and it's going to be math class. And I hope that you're doing fine. Again, it's me, Teacher Claire. I'm back with a new lesson, and this video is brought to you by Comtop International School. And I'm happy to see you again. Today is going to be math, and that's why it's going to be numbers. And we had so many lessons about numbers, so I hope by this time you already know your numbers from at least number 1 to 10. Okay, all right, so let's see if you still remember. Let's have a review. I wrote here numbers 0 to 10, so let's count. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. One more time. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright. Today, I'm sorry, 10, 11. Okay. Alright, so that's your number. Okay, wait. It's 13. Sorry. Alright, so let's have your new lesson. And we have a short review because we are going to use these numbers, and we are going to see if you know how to write your numbers. Okay, so we are going to learn today about smallest to biggest. Okay, what is the smallest? The smallest, when we say small, you know, tiny or just small. Okay, small. I don't want to say it in Kamai. Okay, but that's small, and then big. Small, big. I will draw something here. Okay. For example, okay, this is a tree. Okay, this is a tree. This is a small tree, small. And this tree is big. Again, small, big, small, big. Okay, one more time. Small, big. All right, so that's what we're going to learn today. We are going to learn the concept of smallest to biggest. Again, these two pictures shows us what small and big looks like. Okay, so this is small, this is big. All right, so I'll have number 1 just to start and just a warm up. So I'll have here 3. What's this? What shape is this again? This is what shape? Triangle. Triangle. This is triangle. There are 3 triangles, but they are of different sizes. We have small, we have the big one. All right, so let's find which one is the smallest and which one is the biggest. So among these 3 triangles, which one is the smallest? Smallest. Is it this picture, or this picture? Okay, so what we're going to do, we are going to write 1, 2, or 3. 1 for the smallest and 3 for the biggest. Okay, 1 for the smallest, 3 for the biggest. Okay, I will answer number 1 for you. So this is the smallest triangle. Very small. So we're going to write 1. There. Because it's the smallest. Okay, next we'll find which one is in the middle. So there are just 3 triangles here. So it's either smallest, biggest, and in the middle. Okay, so which one is number 2? It's this triangle. So we are going to write number 2. Now, this time, we are going to find which one is the biggest, and we are going to write number 3. And it means it's the biggest. Okay, so there's only one picture left, one triangle left. That's why this is number 3, and it's the biggest. Again, review. 1. Number 1 for the smallest triangle. Number 2 for the triangle in the middle. And the biggest triangle for number 3. Okay, so I hope you can follow. I still have here 2 more exercises. So let's answer them together. Okay. Alright, what shape is this? What shape is this? What shape? What shape? What shape? This is a star. Okay, star. Star. Okay, there are 3 stars, and we are going to find which one is the smallest and which one is the biggest. Okay, the same thing, we are going to write numbers for which is the smallest and biggest. So which one is the biggest? Now let's start from the smallest. Which one is the smallest? Okay, you can use your fingers again to point your answers. Okay, so the first, number 1, the smallest is this one. Okay, and which one is the second or next to the smallest before we reach the biggest, which is in the middle? We have this star. Okay, and lastly, we have the biggest, and we are going to number it 3. There. So actually they're the same. Small, medium, biggest. Because there are only 3 pictures. So I will just say this is medium. Okay, so small, medium, and the biggest. Okay, next. I draw here a butterfly or butterflies, and let's see which one is the biggest, medium, and the smallest. So which one is the smallest? Please use your finger to point your answer or to point the picture. The smallest one we have, okay, so small, it's becoming big, and then biggest. Okay, so this is your smallest, right? It's the smallest. Among these 3 butterflies, this is the smallest. Okay, next is number 2, because this is the next one, which is a little bit bigger than the smallest. And then we reach your biggest. Biggest. And we're going to put number 3. Alright, so I made it all the same so that you can be familiar what does small and big looks like. So again, this is small and this is big. Small, big, big, small, big, big, or the biggest. Okay, this time we're going to have a different example. for number 4 and number 5, it's not the same with this anymore because I tried to draw something not from the smallest to biggest. So let's find out if you can identify which is the smallest and the biggest. So look, what shape is this? These are squares. 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 We learned that before. So which one is the smallest? Use your finger to point the box or the square or the picture. So which one is the smallest? Number 1, smallest. Is it this one, or this one? Okay, which one is the smallest? We have this one. This is the smallest, right? Look, just looking at the picture, you will know that this is the smallest. Smallest. And what's next? Which one is number 2? We have, next to this is this size. So this is number 2. This time, the last picture will be the biggest. 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 So we are going to write number 3. Okay, so let's have one more. Okay, I draw here hearts. If you still remember your hearts, this is a shape of a heart. Now, which one is the smallest? Use your finger to point your answer. Use your finger to point your answer. Which one is the smallest? We have this tiny heart here. This is the smallest, right? I think you can identify. So this is the smallest. So we are going to write number 1. And which heart is next to this? We have this one. So this is number 2. And the biggest, we have this heart. So let's write number 3. Okay, so small, we have medium, and then the biggest, or the middle, and then the biggest. Okay, so again, that's your smallest to biggest. Let's have a short review. When we say smallest, this one, it's the smallest of the shapes or pictures. So it can be anything. For example, people. Sometimes we have small people, and then we have the tall people. Yeah, that's a little bit different. But yeah, small, and then we have the big. Just like these 2 trees. We have the small tree, and then we have the big tree. So we have the smallest, and we have the biggest. Smallest, biggest. Okay, small, and we have the biggest. Alright, so that's for your smallest to biggest. Let's have some exercise later. This time, I just want you to focus on what does smallest and biggest look like, so that if we have our practice, then you can help me answer our activity. So I'll see you later for your practice. Understood what we just learned earlier. This time you have to help me answering this practice that I prepared for you, and that is to know which one is the smallest and which one is the biggest. So let's start. Okay, I have here 5 activities, and what are we going to do? The same thing that we just did earlier. We're going to help me write numbers either from 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 and so on. So if there are, let's say, 5 pictures in different sizes, then you must put numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if there's only 3 pictures, then you just need to write 1, 2, or 3. Right? So let's have number 1. I have here a picture of a flower. Yeah, this is a flower. And different sizes. So help me out which one is the smallest and which one is the biggest. Alright. Wait. Okay. So 1, 2. So there are 4 flowers. So we need to write numbers 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, so all you need to do is just to use your fingers and point whenever on your screen which one is your answer. Okay, so I'll give you 3 seconds to say your answer. So which one do you think is the smallest? So that's number 1. Which one is the smallest? So use your finger and point anywhere on your screen which one is the smallest. Is it this one, this one, this one, or this one? I'll give you 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. I hope your answer is correct, and the answer is this one. This is the smallest. So let's write number 1. Okay, so that's your smallest. Next, let's have which one is next to this before we reach the biggest. So which one do you think is next to this size? So this is the smallest. And next is, just use your finger and then point your answer. 1, 2, 3. And it's this flower. That's number 2. Alright, there's 2 left. Which one is number 3? Which one? So remember, we're going to the biggest. We're looking for the biggest in size. So we're done with your smallest. We have the next one, which is a little bit bigger. Now, which one is next to this size? We have this size. So it's going to be number 3. Okay, now let's move on to your biggest. So there's only 1 picture left, and that's going to be your biggest flower. So we're going to write number 4. Okay, that's easy. So that's what you're going to do. So remember how we are doing it right now, because that's what you're going to do on pages 15 and 16 later on your books. So let's have number 2. I have here 4 pictures of balls, and let's see which one is the smallest and which one is the biggest. So which one is the smallest? Which one is the smallest? Okay. The smallest is the 3rd picture, so we're going to write number 1. Okay, so that's your smallest picture among the 4 balls. So let's have the next picture. So this is the smallest. Now we know which one is next to this size. So which one is next to this size? We have, okay, again, use your finger to point your answers anywhere on your screen. So the next picture, we have this one. So we're going to write number 2. Okay, so from here, we are going to identify which one is next to this size. So this is your smallest. And next, bigger than this is this one. And which one is bigger than this? Next to this, we have this picture. Okay, now we know 1, 2, and 3. Now there's only 1 picture left, and that will be the biggest. So let's write number 4. Okay, next, number 3. Okay, a tree. No, trees. So I have here 4 different sizes of trees. Which one is the smallest? Okay, use your fingers to point anywhere. Which one is the smallest? The smallest is this one. Yeah, this one. So let's write number 1. Alright, so from here, you have to check which one is the next, which is bigger than this. So this is the smallest. Now let's find out which one is bigger than the smallest. So we have, okay, this one, right? So let's write number 2. That's your next bigger than the smallest one. Alright, there's 2 pictures left. We need to find which one is number 3. Again, this is the biggest, so this should be number 3. And lastly, we have your biggest tree. So let's write number 4. Okay. Alright, next we have number 4. I have here 4 different sizes of triangles, and which one is the smallest and the biggest. Oh, no space. Okay, I'll just write there. Okay, smallest, number 1. That's the smallest. Next to that, we have this triangle. Which one is next to this triangle? Not this one, because this is the biggest. So we need to find for the next size, which is bigger than number 2. So we need to have, it should be this triangle. So we need to write number 3. And obviously, we have your biggest triangle, and then we're going to write number 4. So that's your biggest triangle, right? Lastly, okay, we're almost done. I have here 4 squares. Again, we learned your shapes before, so you should know this. Number 1, we have the smallest, this square. Okay, number 1. Okay, maybe this time you will notice it's much easier because the sizes is arranged from smallest to biggest. So this is number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Alright, so when you do your practice later on, look at this. It is one good example of what smallest and biggest looks like, because I arranged them from smallest to biggest. So that's for your smallest to biggest, and please answer pages 15 to 16 of your math book. Again, 15 to 16 is the same concept. Kids, you just have to write numbers. Which one is the biggest? So no, the smallest will be number 1 and the biggest will be number 4. So it depends how many pictures. Some we have 3 pictures, so that's just 1, 2, and 3. Some have 1, 2, 3, 4 pictures. So again, I'll see you later, and if you need help, just let me know and then I'll help you out, okay? Alright kids, how's your practice? I hope you were able to answer them again. I would really appreciate if you're going to send me your outputs. I really want to see it to know if you understand what we learned today. Now I'll give you a very simple homework, and before that, let's have one more practice. I have here 4 pictures of different sizes of apples, and we're going, it's very obvious that we have your smallest to biggest. So let's write again numbers below these pictures. So since there are 4 apples, then we need 4 numbers in that. The smallest, first the smallest one, we have number 1. Okay, and for the next picture, which is bigger than the smallest, let's write number 2. And next to that, we have, so you need to check the pictures first. Next to that, we have this apple, and we're going to write number 3. Okay, and lastly, for the biggest apple, we're going to write number 4. Alright, so this is the smallest, and this is the biggest. Okay, and let's try to count 1 to 10. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm not asking you to count from 1 to 20. As long as you can count this for now, it's gonna be okay with me. So that's just a short practice, and for your homework, just 2 more pages, pages 17 and 18. Please do it, and please send me pictures as well so I can check your outputs. So again, that would be your homework, and please practice more so you become better. So I'll see you again next time. Bye!